you gonna jump up here?
Oh, hi! Oh my gosh. You need love.
Miko's back! Nah, your camera's shut. Miko, you're gonna have to, stand still, but your little heart is just going. What is wrong with you? Anything wrong? Oh my god. That cannot be comfortable for you. Oops. Are you okay, bud? That's good. Okay, take it off. Just like Taylor Swift, take it off, sweetie. What are you doing? So today's video is something supposed to be kind of inspirational, but it's kind of like a personal inspiration. It's not like a generalized thing, something that, everyone can relate to. That is not the right way to phrase that. But this video, it might just be Alexandra, focused. Not a lot of people can relate to my experiences. Obviously, they haven't been through the same stuff as I have. But the stuff that I'm going to present today in this video, hopefully it's going to relate to a lot of 17-year-old girls, if not just one. I want it to be kind of like inspirational messages that I would tell a young adult, almost young woman. This is what life is going to present to you, and you're going to have to know how to handle it. This video might just be no one ever told me part 2, but actually it's going to be focused just to 17-year-olds, and it's supposed to be things I would just tell my 17-year-old self if I could. Like future Alex as 20 years old coming to present Alex that would be 17. Currently, I'm 19. I'll be 20 this year. It's kind of cool. And I've learned a lot, to say the least. Yeah, learned a lot. Just me personally, when I was 17, I hadn't even finished high school yet. I was 16 starting my senior year of high school, and I was 17 at graduation. And so this video, it's gonna be me talking to my 17-year-old self, or maybe even the generalized 17-year-old, particularly girls. And I'm gonna use 4 words in each of the things that I would tell the 17-year-old that will kind of be building blocks for how you're gonna be prepared for the future. Let's do it. Let's get into this video. First thing that I would tell my 17-year-old self, you're doing it right. Alex personally was having so much fun not caring about anybody else but herself senior year. And that was not me being selfish. It was definitely me getting everything that I needed to get done actually done, and I was doing it with a good attitude, and I was doing it making sure that everybody was pleased around me, but I was not looking to please everyone around me. That's something really important that I would tell my 17-year-old self. Hey, you're doing a good thing. You're doing it right. Next thing I would tell my 17-year-old self is actually definitely a personal thing. Kaylin's friendship will last. A lot of times I've seen high school relationships, go down the drain once graduation happens. It's one of those things where if you don't see them 5 days a week, you lose touch with those people that you don't see every single day. It's not possible to hold on to every single what you considered vital relationship that you had in high school. It's not gonna happen. But luckily for me, I met my best friend my junior year of high school. I didn't know she was going to become my best friend. And to this day, we'll see each other every once in a while, just because, she doesn't live down the street. Something about Kaylin, she does not live right next door to me. But what I love more than anything is that when I see her, it's no time has passed at all. We have the same fun all the time. It's just really awesome. Something I've noticed about actually kids that I went to high school with, a lot of their best friends were actually right next door to them. It was almost like they were convenient, and then when they went to college and they didn't have consistent contact all the time, they kind of lost their friendship. I feel really good in my heart that I can keep contact with people. No matter the length of time between that contact, we can still be good. And Kaylin's definitely one of those people, because when I was 17, I was kind of doubting our friendship, whether it would last or not, because she had a whole separate group of friends. No matter how much I wanted to spend time with her, she had another group of friends. It's something I would definitely tell my 17-year-old self. Kaylin's friendship will last. Next thing I would tell my 17-year-old self, this is definitely personalized to just me. You've found your voice. When I was 17, I was ending the communications program, or the radio program. I'm wearing the t-shirt today. I was ending the radio program that Centerville offered. And there was this one competition that the Columbia College in Chicago hosts every year. It's kind of like a radio convention. Basically, I submitted work my junior year of high school, just like a public service announcement, maybe a skit or two. that the radio program had like put together, and I actually placed in the public service announcement category at this like big radio convention in Chicago. And I actually went. Oh my gosh, I had such a great experience in Chicago going to that convention that I just couldn't help but think that I could do this for a really long time. And I'm so glad that I had that gut feeling, because right now in college I'm studying communications. I've never changed my major before, but I have changed the different like focus groups of communication. I've always ended up narrowing it down to something that relates to the mind. Right now it's emotional intelligence, and that is actually what I started doing a year ago. I've done body language for a while, because people watching is a pretty fun thing, and if you think about it, that's body language in itself, just people watching. You're watching people's body language. God, just in Chicago, I just couldn't help but think that this 17-year-old girl, myself, I placed first in the nation just by sharing something that happened to me when I was a kid, and I related it to an ongoing problem. That was definitely something that I had to remember. And if I could go back and tell my 17-year-old self that, hey, you think that life's not going to go on after this, but guess what? You found your voice. Lots of people like have their peak in high school. Lots of people have their peak in college. Some people have it like after they lose a ton of weight after they're 30. Some people even have a peak in their childhood. I've yet to study that, but I'm sure that there's someone in the world that like had a really, really great childhood and then it just like went downhill from there. But, full disclosure, I did not peak in high school. I had like different feelings for every grade of school that I did. 9th grade, I was clueless. 10th grade, I was miserable and depressed and just all over the map. 11th grade, I was recovering. I was trying to develop a sense of self after 10th grade, I was gone. 12th grade, I was a blast. I was having so much fun making sure that I did the right thing at the right time for the right person, mostly me most of the time, and I did it. I did it by finding the right things to say at the right time. That was my voice. It was like the developing of an opinion. I could go back and just tell 17-year-old Alex that just, hey, you found your voice. You're doing a really good thing. Radio's one thing, but you got a voice, honey. You have a booming set of vocal cords, and you better use them. And then the last 3 things that I would tell my 17-year-old self, they're kind of sad, but they're pretty realistic if you think about it. Please don't think about it too hard. Start learning about goodbye. Me personally, I am not that great at saying goodbye. I always want to start conversations with people, whether I know them or not, and I sometimes just want to hold on to that moment so bad that I just never want to let it go. Maybe that's my problem as a woman. That's probably my biggest issue when dealing with relationships. It's really hard for me to say goodbye, but in the mass communications field, you have to be okay with moving on to the next new thing and being okay with letting go something that is just not valid anymore. That really sucks, but 17-year-old me really needs to learn how to start letting go and just start learning about goodbye. And then, yeah, the next thing that I would tell my 17-year-old self, crap will continue coming. It's kind of phrased a little interesting. You probably think at 17 years old that college is going to be like the greatest experience ever. Something about college, stress gets generalized really quickly. It's almost like everybody's going through the same stress, and that's just not true. Stress is the way that you perceive everyday outcomes. Any situation that happens, the way that you see it and react, that is your personal stress. And something about, being 17, being young and stupid is one thing, but when crap gets thrown your way, you think it's kind of funny. And then you turn 18, and if crap is ever thrown your way, you gotta be like, oh shit, like I have to handle this. You do. Crap is gonna be thrown your way like one of those tennis ball shooters. I don't know what the machine is called. The tennis balls kind of just keep coming at you. That's kind of a metaphor for life. Stuff is gonna keep coming your way and you're gonna have to be ready. Whether it's crap or it's wonderful good news, it's gonna come your way. One of the last few things I would tell my 17-year-old self is don't forget what's important. I mean, simple as that. Your physical health is very important. Your mental health is very important. Your relationships are very important. Having a good diet, having good hygienic habits is definitely a good thing. Like, don't forget to shower. Just little tiny habits, like don't forget that those like little things are like really important. I mentioned a really long time ago in a video that what I find attractive in a guy is actually when he has good habits. And it's true, that's Something about college, again with the crap being thrown your way, sometimes you forget how to take care of yourself. That goes down to the basic bottom level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Physical health is like super important, and being hygienic. Make sure you take care of both of those things. Shower, wash your face, brush your teeth, clean out the wax out of your ear, because we're always listening to music. I mean, come on. Think about all that stuff on those earbuds that you're wearing. Make sure that you're well groomed in the face if you're a guy. Make sure this is taken care of. I'm talking about armpit hair. You're not skipping meals. You're not over-exercising. You gotta make sure that you're keeping good habits just to carry out your day. Me personally, my good habit is eating breakfast every day. I also don't dress like a bum when I leave my house. Lots of girls pride themselves on looking like a bum. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure that I am like relatively, if not totally presentable every day. You gotta be prepared. And if you don't know the situation that's coming that's gonna be like really important that you need to be prepared for, you forgot what's important, and that's taking care of yourself. I feel like this could get like into a way longer video just about mental health and physical health and bettering it. That would be like part 2, you know, of how to better your mental and physical health, but I'm not gonna do that. So the last thing that I would tell my 17-year-old self, because, you know, when I was 17, I was ending high school, have fun senior year. Make sure that you have the greatest time when you're 17. Because 17, something about that age, it's just the beginning of being sexy and the beginning of just looking at things kind of differently. And you get looked at differently too. When you're 16, you know, you're just starting to drive. And when you're 18, you're legal. But you're 17, you're like somewhere in the middle. You can drive people crazy when you're 17. You can drive adults crazy or you can drive guys crazy. Actually, me personally, I don't know what I drove crazy, more adults or guys. I don't know what I drove crazy when I was 17, but now at 20, I'm doing my best to drive everybody crazy. I'm not that insane, but in the right time, the right place, the right moment, I might just be. For example, my church was having this big, like, Super Bowl party. They have, like, this big, like, halftime show. There's a dance floor in the middle of the atrium. Now, side note, my church is not like other churches. It doesn't really do typical worship. It actually makes it kind of like a rock concert kind of experience. When nobody was on the dance floor, I got out there. Now, you know, I'm guest services. I'm the volunteer team. I kind of have to be put together. But in this moment, I knew that I had to get the people excited. So I got out on the dance floor and I did this dance move that I've been practicing in the basement for, I don't know, 3-4 years. I basically went into a handstand and I slowly like put my arms down and I ended up doing the worm. I did the worm on the dance floor, and what's so funny is that my best friend John and his family walked into the atrium when I was doing this, and it was so funny. Like, his dad was like, "Oh my god, look at that, someone's doing the worm!" And then I got up and it's Alex! Oh my god! No one knew that I could do that. That was the first time that I publicly did the worm. I've done two-step, I've done the electric slide, the wobble, the cupid shuffle, lots of times in public. That's easy. It tells you what to do in the middle of the song. But when no one else was going out to dance, I got up there and I did the worm. It's just something to like get everybody excited. That is pretty important to keep the energy. Me personally, I'm always energized. It's really hard for me to be like mellow. If I ever am, people come up to me and are like, "Are you okay? You're like not naturally caffeinated right now." If I'm caffeinated, you're all screwed. No one in their right mind would give me caffeine. All I drink anymore is water and milk because I personally don't like coffee that much. I really don't like coffee. Don't give it to me. Please, dear God, don't give it to me. You need to know that that is important after watching this video. But relating back to the worm thing that I did, my 17-year-old self saw me do that on that dance floor. She would probably be so proud that I actually nailed the dance move after practicing it for 3 years. This is like, you know, not something that I would tell my 17-year-old self, but it's something that my 20-year-old self would definitely wonder. Would my 17-year-old self be proud of the 20-year-old me or like afraid of it? The change in people happens like roughly every 3 to 6 months. Your physicality changes, your taste buds change, your mindset changes. That is a natural thing to just be an ongoing process of always developing and always growing as a human being. But I wonder that, you know, a 17-year-old me, new me, the current me, would she be like happy about it? Would she want to like know all the stories before they happened or why they even happened? Right now, at almost being 20 years old, honestly, I don't want to know what I would be like at 23 years old. I don't want to know. I love being in the moment, but I love being prepared too. That's like the 60% of my brain that is organized, and the other 40% is free-flowing and being okay with change. Lots of people, all they want is consistency. They just want to be able to know exactly where their next meal is coming from, exactly where their next paycheck is coming from, exactly like who's got their back. And then there's some people that just don't want to know any of that. They don't want to know like what tomorrow's gonna bring. They don't want to know what the next hour is gonna bring. And honestly, the greatest metaphor to that, of the kinds of people that exist in the world, it's something that lots of people are probably familiar with. Ross and Rachel. Ross always wanted to be prepared, and he always wanted to make sure he knew where his next paycheck was coming from. He always wanted to know exactly how his life was going to be put together because he put it together himself. But Rachel was the complete opposite of that. She didn't want somebody telling her exactly how to live out her life or have someone even plan it for her, no matter how much they thought they were meant for each other. This is a TV sitcom. I understand. I'm using that as a metaphor. That is probably not my best idea. Okay, I would love to know if my 17-year-old self is proud of the person that I am right now. Looking back, I think 17-year-old me is pretty funny. Not that I was stupid or that I was not that great looking or I wasn't as ambitious. I always thought my laugh was too loud because someone would always like comment on it. But then something changed. I remember the summer before I turned 18, people started telling me how contagious it was, how free it was, even a little bit how delayed it was, and how I didn't ever hold back. And that was something so cool that I wish my 17-year-old self could know how proud you could be of yourself. I guess that is the last thing I would tell my 17-year-old self. Be proud of yourself. Because if you don't believe in you, no one else is going to. You need to believe in you before someone else can. That, I think, is a really good way to end this video. I'm just gonna end the video right there. I really hope you guys enjoyed this week's video because just there, I had like totally like brain blast Jimmy Neutron moment. Then I'm really, really glad that I actually sat down and made this video. I really want lunch. I'm salivating really hard. Okay, I'll put my links for my social media accounts in the description below. I really hope you guys have a good day, and I really hope you guys liked this video. 4 words to generalize what I would tell every 17-year-old in the world is kind of difficult, but I managed to do it, and I'm really glad. Go out. So, there's no crazy hair story, as you can tell. It is getting longer, I don't know, but the color light. The color's fading a lot. I'm really excited to get it touched up before March. When March comes and it's like all bright outside, kind of like just happened there. Whoa, I saw that. When March comes and it's like all bright outside again, I am definitely going to blend in more with the environment around me than I do now with all the, you know, snow and wind blowing, and then you see this and it's like, whoa, color, like wow, defying the norm. I might do a video in the future of ways I defy the norm. That will probably be the longest video that I ever post on here. It would be like an hour long, all the different things that I do to defy the norm. You guys are all gonna be in suspense until that happens. I will see you all next week.